OTS Championships have brought us the power of Paleozoic. It looks like hero action is still going, and the long-forgotten Melodious, and so much more. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. If you've been somebody out here looking and enjoying the power of Paleozoics, you've probably been asking yourself, hey, what kind of cool things can we do? Well, evidently, relying on Morganite to be this fun little card to kind of allow you some cool options to kind of do the thing. I mean, hey, 6 Morganites, right? Time Tearings and the succumbing song Morganites, getting that double battle damage, getting that basically double honestly, I'm liking what this deck is doing, all right, especially in this department. We also do see here we have the magical Collidalzoic. We've seen quite a lot of action in this TCG exclusive, or at least a lot of the thoughts of this card kind of coming to light. I do like this a lot. Also keep in mind this build is not relying on the Laundry Dragon Maid package, which is incredibly interesting to see a shift away from that. But of course, I mean, Backjack is still going to be here. This build is relying on card destruction to get some of the bricks out of your hand, the card demise for, I mean, yeah, the 3 draw 3. And then, of course, a major reasoning. If this reasoning resolves, you are going to be milling so many resources off of your deck. Like, this is going to be hilarious to see the amount of power that you are going to be generating just off of one of these. Other little things, I mean, we have some Ice Dragons prisons in here. I do see, you know, Rise to Full Heights, transaction rollbacks, and of course, we have some Wabaku action in here for you as well. Most of your extra deck is going to be extremely straightforward. I mean, the Turbo Zeus for the cleanup, you know, getting that major pressure on your opponent and a quick effort to pass the game. Some Lava Golems to control your opponent, and of course, good old scatter shots kind of clear up some more of that little field. And of course, I mean, why not have different dimension ground out here as well, so you can just vacuum up anything your opponent's doing. This is really cool, and I hope that we do continue to see some more results like this, actually kind of putting in some work on today's meta. Ooh, we have hero action for you. Now, if you've been paying attention to a lot of fairly recent hero innovations, you're going to notice not a lot has changed with this, all right? And I think that's fine to say. Hero, in its current iteration, has definitely become a lot more figured out at this point in time. And I think that that's actually a good thing. Still relying on Malicious to be that cornerstone of power for you to do your thing. We also have Draw and Lockbird. Draw and Lockbird's kind of return back to this format that allows you a very, very strong lock, no more fun on the opponent. It's going to be really, really strong. I do see, hey, you have, of course, this card right here being the best starter that you could possibly ever want to have. It's always really funny to me because heroes just have this immense ability just to slam this down. If it's not checked by Ash, you're just off to the races to do your thing. Also, 2 polymerizations in this build instead of 1. I kind of like this. I mean, this build's filling out 40 cards as it is. You know, we're not playing cross-outs to stop the Nibiru's. Nib's kind of, I mean, it's here. I mean, this whole side deck is just, you know, more hand traps to bring on in. And you're also relying on these cards to try to check the void on the more random side of the equation. You know, who really knows what's going to be the check for you that you're going to have to, you know, try to do. But from what I am seeing here, everybody, this build looks very, very strong. You have pretty much everything that you could want. I do wish we could have some D-Force action in here. I love these decks that do play the random D-Force because it is so hilarious just to see D-Force coming up and being that little card that your opponent kind of looks at you and goes, wow, I can't believe you just sacked me. Well, I mean, you were already losing to the plasma evidently anyway. So, all right, next up here, we have Melodious action for you. Now, this deck has also kind of been sitting here in the back of the room in the rogue category, and people have just kind of forgotten about it. I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing that we're seeing this deck, you know, be the little back end out here. I mean, you got some beautiful quarter century upgrades with the first movement solos. You have Hollow Ostinatos now to be able to add to your equation, which is pretty cool. But this card right here is still going to be one of the strongest cards that you can have to punish your opponent. I mean, yeah, you have to burn another fairy monster, but having a negation and a destruction on a hand trap in combination with something like Effect Veiler out here. Also keep in mind, we do have the Ash Blossoms, and we are seeing those Dominus Purges. I've noticed a lot of these decks right now taking a lot more advantage of the combination of the Ashes and the Dominus Purges. Being able to, yeah, sure, if you open up the Ash and the Dominus Purge, you just Ash first, and then rely on the Dominus Purge to kind of follow it on up, to kind of lock it in so you can do your thing. I mean, you're relying on what, 3, 5, 8, 11, 15 hand traps. Or 14 hand traps. I feel like that's pretty normal at this point in time. And of course, you've also got the Drolls and the Fuas down here to bring in so you can, you know, kind of wrap it up. Extra deck, I mean, your ratios in this department are all fine. Only playing one copy of Bloom, I think, is fine, to be honest with you. If anything happens to this is kind of one that puts you into the little bit rougher of a situation. That's fine. You also do see the Agent of the Moon here. But of course, you're able to put up very large amounts of monsters with a deck like this. So having the Underworld Goddess in here to be that, oh, hey, you put a troublesome card on the field, but, you know, I'm able to recur all these resources so we can go ahead and do a major suck up on the Underworld Goddess. It takes care of pretty much any major issues that I think you're going to be facing out here. So that's actually pretty good. Now, we also have Centurion. What in the world are we doing here? I guess we have reached the point in the Centurion department out here of, hey, we are able to use these fusion materials to put the Desiree on the field. I can't tell you how annoyed I would be out here that I sit down to play Centurion. You know, you're going to set up the Oxwillow. The Oxwillow is going to probably get you into the Phalanx, and then you're going to be able to have the full Fiendsmith combo here sitting on the side, and then you're just going to go ahead and end on what, like a Desiree this, and then, you know, we're not even doing the standard Bysteel shenanigans in here, because a lot of these lists like to play the Lubellion to be able to interact with the Bysteels, and, you know, the Branded Regain for the extra action. No, this build is just playing the Fiendsmith cards as an extra engine. We're also playing the Vision Resonator in here with the 1 Crimson Gaia, just to be able to, I guess, get some quick little extra action on the field. I mean, just being able to do this in a full Fiendsmith combo is pretty good. I think this is a good example out here that, one, Centurion can play so many more adaptive packages that, you know, you can have the Bysteel stuff in here as your backing, which is good. But on that same thought process, what secondary engine am I going to do? You know, you need to make sure that what you're doing with Centurion, I mean, the Horus package long since has been forgotten about. The results from the Horus stuff did not initially, I think, do too well with a lot of the player base. So to see this shift around on these options while you're still looking at things going, hey, you know, these are still very presentable ideas, but Fiendsmith definitely is good, but the Bysteel fuller extended package, I think, is going to be more of the fan favorite for sure. And then the last list we have here is an Exodia list. It's actually from Zac Butler. I'm going to leave a link down below to his YouTube channel so you guys can check that out and show some love to our Exodia duelists. But there is Arch Nemesis Ascantos in Exodia, of all things. I mean, by banishing 3 monsters with different types from your graveyard. Well, I mean, you got Beast Warriors, you got Warriors, and then, of course, you are playing a Fiendsmith package in here, so that, you know, you might lose a little bit of this package, but let's call it what it is. You know, you're Millennium Monking into the unstoppable, unbridled, amazing force of Exodia. But then we also have this stupid Ascantos that we're able to deploy out here, and now your opponent's gonna, you know, have to deal with this. Also, neither player can special summon with that type for the rest of the turn. Oh, so now you've got control options in this form of this Ascantos in a deck like Exodia, for example. This is a really cool idea. I do see we're doing some Reproticus shenanigans in here as well. I love modifying types on monsters to be able to jam my opponent out of playing the game. And we've all seen, you know, our dear old brother out here in the department has been incredibly broken, but this is a new spin on Exodia, and I'm actually very, very happy to see this. So that is some of your results out of your OTS local events. I am intrigued by what more is to come. So please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Do check out our friend, and you guys have a good rest of your day. All right, peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.